I want to come back, maybe let's step back and look at this poverty factor, which is what we wanted to discuss in this section. Kandhamal is one of the poorest regions in the country. Do you believe, Renuka Narayanan, you've been looking at religion, does that make people more susceptible in a sense to perhaps religious conflict? The fact that one group can be used against another when the people at the bottom are so poor?
Definitely. I agree with Professor Mohanty that it is a state failure at a social and economic level. Meanwhile, from what I can tell about this killing business, there was a Maoist called Azad who claimed credit. And 2 years ago in EPW, a colleague was telling me when they took out an issue on the Naxals and Maoism, this guy, the same guy apparently wrote saying, you haven't asked the Maoists what we think. So it's the same, you know.
Yes, we have referred to Azad, but my point, the point I'm trying to raise, is it the fact that at the bottom, there are people who want to climb up the social ladder? Is it possible that religion becomes a way of upward mobility? Hinduism perhaps doesn't allow them the kind of space. Christianity is allowing them. You will call it forced conversion. But the fact is it's allowing them the kind of space that maybe Hinduism is denying it.
There are in the BJP and leadership among the MPs, 27%. No other party has. Upper region they can move. I ask one question.
No, Mr. Singhal has
Mr. Singhal, let John Dayal speak.
What I'm supposed to say was, he has perfected the art of hijacking television discussions. Let the ladies speak.
No, Mr. John Dayal, the question of exploiting poverty. There's a question. Sir, just a minute. The state failure, you made the point of state failure and centre failure.
No, the centre has not done its duty. It should have sent a parliamentary committee. It should have the Prime Minister makes a telephone call.
So let's go beyond the immediate violence. I want to know from Mr. John Dayal, there is poverty on the ground in Kandhamal.
Yes, sir.
How do you respond to VP Singhal and others who will say that Christian missionaries are exploiting the poverty on the ground?
It is a fool who comes to Christianity to get rid of his poverty. It is very difficult to become a Christian. If you're a Dalit, you lose your job, you lose your scholarship, you lose everything you have. The number of Christians who are poor Christians in the 2.4%, that is the national average, is 80% plus. We don't gain by becoming Christians, but we do get freedom. That's a good thing.
Freedom from the
clutches of caste. Freedom from what is India.
And they still have separate pews for a scheduled caste in the church and separate for the high caste.
Just a minute. Renuka Narayanan respond. Do you believe that in a sense, that's the power of Christianity at the moment on the ground, maybe in a state like Orissa, which is one of the poorest states in the country?
I'm sorry to say, I think the reasons are economic rather than religious. And I think, with all respect to Mr. Dayal, I do think he's overstating the case, because I know heaps of caste Christians who observe caste. Yes. No, not just Tamil Nadu, sir. Goa, lots of other places.
Yes.
So, I've run across them right across India. So, I think he's slightly overstating the case, and I think it's unfair to demonize the entire Hindu community, which is not like this. And, people have moved on quite a lot. Not all Hindus are caste obsessed. I think it's completely overstating the case.
Absolutely. Okay, fair enough. But deep down inside we agree somewhere the economic conditions do make
states
like Orissa.
Also, there is evangelical energy.
May I say something? Yes. I was not responding to the sanity of Renuka. I was responding to the absurd lunacy of the VHP. Surely not all Hindus are caste.
Can we go back to poverty?
Okay, we will come back to that.
Is that language?
Professor Mohanty, make a final point. Professor Mohanty, make a final point. Just a minute.
One second. You see, the VHP's program has not included, for example, in Kandhamal district, what to do with the rich economy of ginger and turmeric. How to revive that? How to use the minor forest produce and have processing units there.
So you're saying they have only a single point agenda, which is only a religious mobilization agenda. Okay,
exactly.
Let's take a break, because after that we want to ask whether the VHP has been also demonized in a way. Has it been unfairly demonized in any way? What about the work that the VHP does on the ground? Much more in this weekend edition when we come back.
What has happened is, in Orissa, there has been a genocide. These protests are a sign that we are not very happy that the state is not protecting rights.
Today the protest is about India being a secular state and we safeguarding the secularism of India. So it's a first duty being a citizen of India to take care of what's happening and to at least be aware of what's happening in India so that in future when we become the real citizens, we don't create such things in future and safeguard our country.